Information is power. Information is power. Tell the truth.
Welcome to the Information Man Show. What I'm going to do right now, give me a moment to disengage from this. Boom. So we got my man Lion's Den here and myself. We're going to talk a little bit tonight. We're not going to hold everybody up for a long time tonight, but we are going to talk about a few things that's going on. Everybody in the chat room, thank you for being here. Brother Aduvian, we got Queen, I Know I Am. We got Vonda Harris. We got a lot of good folks in there. Jasmine Virgo, thank you for being here. Dallas Shade, Umumba. We got Kenny Priest for being here. You know I'm bad with names. Let me go do something real quick. Recognize some folks. I like this StreamYard very much. It allows you to read what people are saying and interaction. I'm getting a lot of love in the chat room. Lions Den, say what's up to everybody out there, brother.
What's good, everybody? Lions Den in the building. My boy, Information Man. How's it going, everybody?
All right. Yeah, we're in the house, and we're gonna experiment with this. I've had a chance to experiment with the StreamYards. It's very powerful. It's excellent type of thing. We got my check this out. Touch of a hand. I've got you right there. Boom. Got my man straight up in the camera, full. And as you can see in the other corner, we have the logo for iHeartRadio. I am a podcaster as well. And so I'm on a lot of different platforms on there trying to grow the podcast. That's a whole different world over there. So I've got a lot of work to do. But I've been doing that for quite some time. So that's my man Lions. Then again, he's brother is enjoying. You're enjoying married life right now, right, brother?
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying married life. About a week ago, my wife and I went to the Miami, Florida. So we've been living the life, man.
Cool. I see we got Poetic Celts in the house, Vonda Harris. We got a lot of great people coming in the house. So what we want to do, I was inspired to do this video tonight because I had a chance to check out Jason Black at the Black Channel. And of course, he exposed a lot of truth as to what's going on in this mass shooting, particularly in Daytona, Dayton, Ohio. I'm sorry, Dayton, Ohio. And he's saying that there's some aspects to it that's, as you know, black people. There were black people that were killed in this situation, this massacre. And it's a damn shame that this happened. Now, I know for folks out there listening, you're going to say, well, what about the black on black crime info? Why do you want to just talk about the black folks that were killed in this situation with this heinous individual, Connor Butts, or whatever the hell he goes by? Why would you just talk about that, not talk about what's happening in Chicago? Well, we know in Chicago there was some shooting over the weekend. We know that there are incidents in some of these areas in this country where you have black folks that may not be treating each other in the best light. But let me tell you something. Overall, in this country, when people commit crime, I said this on the O'Shea Duke Jackson show this past weekend. Nobody seems to be getting this. I look at the numbers in my job where I work at. I see what the numbers are. Most people who commit crimes, whether it be black people committing crime on black people, it's the same for white people. So most people who commit murders, what's going on, Soul Illusionist? When white people commit crime and do murder, they kill other white people. When Asians do the same thing, they kill other Asian people. They have something called home invasion, where Asians will invade the homes of other Asian people because they know that they keep monies and very valuables in the house because they understand the culture. Latinos, Mexicans, Russians, Italians, they tend to attack each other and murder each other. But yet we want to make the face of crime because we want to use Chicago. Chicago's got problems. We want to use Chicago as this blueprint to say, hey, everybody, look, everybody, black people are have some pathology for harming people, murdering people. We have some pathology because we have problems in Chicago. Look, crime goes in different waves. Chicago's having a lot of problems, and let's be honest, Chicago does have a lot of corrupt politicians, corrupt police. There's a lot of things going on, okay, in Chicago. Oakland, where I lived at before, got a bad rep as being a bad place to live because you had black people there and there was some crime. When in question is San Francisco, where I lived there for 30 years, actually has just as much crime, if not more crime, than Oakland, California. But the difference is San Francisco is a tourist city. It's a tourist city, and they don't want their tourism to be affected by the fact that those dollars are important. And Oakland, California is not a tourist city. So black people, do we have our problems? Yes. But other groups commit crime on each other, and nobody sets that as a pathological problem with them. They do this to black people because in America, we are culturally conditioned to see black as inferior and every damn thing else and everybody else as superior to us. Now that's the cultural conditioning. It's been that way in this society. Let me get my man Lions Den aside by me. But I just want to give out that information because I know people are aware of this, but let's just get into this right now. This individual, he did terrible things. And we got Anita B in there looking all sexy on her picture. That's the great thing about this. You can see people's pictures up close as you scroll down to each person. We got my man, Brother Moses, in the house. He says, peace, family. Stay aware. Be one. We can't assume we are done just because they shut down one chat terrorist group. That's right. Website. That's right. That's definitely true. We cannot assume that. Let me do something real quick because I think people need to see this very quickly. I'm going to put this picture up here. Boom. And I hope you all can see that. These are the people. Jason Black had this featured on his channel. Let me just do something real quick. So we got Vonda, we got Vonda in the house. Let me just pull out of that real quick. Let me see here. Let me pull out of that real quick. Now, as you can see, these are the beautiful black people that were harmed in this shooting in Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. Now, apparently, from what we understand, from what I've been made aware of, is that the area that they were in was an area that was frequent by different race of people. And then the question is, there's some question out there that it was sort of a swirling type of area that they were in. And the brother that you see up there with the camera to your far right, whatever vantage point you have, uh, he had various pictures. He had a fetish or a thing for white women or what have you. That's his business. But um, why I'm going with this, because just like Jason Black, the evidence is it's evident that this despicable individual, he went to this particular place particularly targeting black people in particular because of his racist views, some of the things he was into, this whole satanic type thing he had going, this devilish type thing he had going. Apparently he killed his sister. And the question is it because his sister had a black boyfriend? These are things that are being pondered out there by the likes of brothers like Jason Black. So this is what's happening in America as we start becoming more integrated and we get into this alternative lifestyle and we start to get lulled to sleep and think that everything's okay because everybody can shake their booties together and go to clubs and social events. We better wake up and realize that we live in a society that is set up right now for this very thing to happen. And I said this on O'Shea Duke Jackson's show because I felt that the title of the show was incorrect. And the fact of the matter is, and I may make people feel insulted by what I'm saying, but I'm going to say it and tell the truth. This is about truth. And that is,
tell the truth.
This mass shooting problem is not necessarily a black people problem. It is a white people or a white male problem. White males have been getting away with shooting in mass order in this country. And when they do this, they don't get demonized as black men are demonized. Now, we may talk about Chicago and what's happening in Chicago and these sort of things, and it's a terrible situation. But white males going around shooting in mass and being connected to these hate type groups, which we know have been around for a long time, it's a threat. Okay, any of us can go out into our communities and we can be targeted by these type of individuals. And it's funny how when white males do this, they're not profiled the way black males are profiled, right? Nobody's looking for crew cut wearing white boys or white boys that fit his profile and what have you. Lions, did you have anything you want to add to what I'm saying, brother?
First and foremost, let me send some condolences to the victims' families for the loss of their loved ones in this horrible, horrible, horrible tragedy in Dayton, Ohio. Okay, 6 out of 9, people who are African American, that were killed in this tragedy. Now, for some, this is basically goes to show that when you got a guy who basically his mindset is targeting African Americans in really an interracial nightclub in Dayton, Ohio, and obviously, like you said with Jason Black's show, that these are the victims that lost their life that night, and obviously that we're talking about what's going on in El Paso, Texas, but this right here it happened in 24-hour period. 24-hour period. You have what happened in El Paso, Texas, and then about a couple of hours later, it happens in Dayton, Ohio. What happened to African Americans that were brutally murdered by this madman, by this mad shooter. So, Info, your thoughts on that?
Well, like I said, some people may take what I said a little. Look, it was an interracial area where they were going out. Clubs, there's various social, facilities there, right? Mm-hmm. It's obvious to me that this individual he was targeting. Let me show you guys a picture. You might have saw this on Jason Black, but I just thought that Jason Black really inspired me personally I don't usually like to talk about this kind of stuff because we know this is stuff that's happening. But let me just go into let me see something right here. I want to show you all a picture here, and there you go. That's a picture. You probably have seen this picture already, folks. And I just want everybody to see that right there. So let me see something right here real quick. So that's the picture of his sister. They look like they're identical twins, right? Like they're twins or something like that. But that's the sister who it's reported by all accounts that he killed his sister. Now, what that was all about, who knows? The inference is one. This is the question you have to ask: is it because his sister was dating a black male and he had problems with that? So I'm going to give you a close-up picture of his jacket. And I thought Jason Black, I'm giving Jason Black credit because I'm giving respect where respect is due. Jason Black really brought this out on his program. And I think this is very important. Let me read something. I think Makeham had something that she was saying here. Makeham says, sick of hearing about Chicago. Makeham says, you had people saying that the first domestic terrorist is not the white man, but the black men who have the highest rate of being mass shooters. Exactly. Makeham, you making very good points, and can't deny that. Very good points. Indeed. But let me show everybody something else that will definitely open up one's mind here. And this is very important because this is what Jason Black was talking about on his program not too long ago. And now we're talking black to you, okay? Talking black. Talk black to me, everybody. I'm gonna talk black to y'all too. That's actually a podcast that y'all should check out. There's a brother on Facebook. I'm following the podcast community, and that's a good podcast, giving him some promo there. But let me, that's my man Lions Den. Let me show everybody something real quick, and I hope this works out. There we go. That's what I wanted to do here. So there you go. Just like Jason Black did on his show, you see the jacket, you see the Angelus of Gods, and then he's got the patch. That patch is a Satanist patch that has a goat. And you know, goats have been associated with satanic type rituals. That's one of the reasons why I don't like goats. I don't like the way they look. I don't like their eyes. They look very satanic, and they demonize the goat. I mean, the goat was created by God, so they use it as a symbol. But that's that patch there. So this kid was into Satanism. He had some races, just like that guy, Dylan Roof. And then Lions Den, we turn around and find out, and you talk about how black males, black young men and young ladies are demonized in school. If a black male comes to school, he's seen as a thug. They will kick black males out of school for saying anything to a teacher, for doing anything. But check this out. You know the story about this kid, Connor Boots, his high school days, what he was doing in high school, Lions Den?
Yeah, I've been hearing stories that he's been involved in, like, getting in trouble with a teacher. That's one of the stories that I've been hearing about this kid. And so the thing of it is that there's more stories out there that he's doing and that we still haven't even talked about. But yeah, those are one of the stories I heard, that he was involved in fighting a teacher at his school.
Well, check this out too. What's also known about him, Lions Den, is the fact that this is why I say that black young men are being demonized, right? In school, no matter what we do, right or wrong. But this kid made a death list. It's reported that when he was in school, he made a list, I think in the bathroom, writing down various people in school that he wanted to kill. So everybody, so check this out. This is how this stuff works. Soon as he did what he did, right? Then all of a sudden you got people who know him talking about, oh, he was a nice kid. I can't believe he would do this. Like, they make excuses. This is the thing that pisses me off. Excuses are made when young white males or white men go out and do this type of crime, excuses are given to them. You know the excuses. Oh, they got a mental illness, right?
Yeah.
He's misunderstood. You know, oh, they were making fun of him in school, right? You're hearing those same goddamn reports. Oh, he was made fun of in school, right? Oh, you know, oh, give him a chance over and over and over again. We're hearing this type of stuff over and over and over. And then we got a brother that's never safe to swirl. But over and over and over again, you see this narrative being played out in American society. Oftentimes, let me see what my man, brother Dubian, is saying here. He says, this is right on time because the thought crosses my mind today that I misinformed. Yeah. Let me see what else some people are writing up here. What I love about this Lions Den is that you can actually see exactly what people are writing without squinting your eyes. So we got brother Dallas in here. Slade, he says, white guys shoot up the place. They say he suffers from mental illness. Black men do something and he's labeled a hoodie thugs savage. Right. Let's get into it. Trayvon Martin is over with his father in Stanford, Florida. He goes out because he was watching the All-Star game that year to get him something to drink, something to snack on, like any young man would do.
Right.
He had a hoodie. He's walking, minding his own business. That despicable Zinneman says, oh, they tell him to hold up, don't do anything. He says, no, they always get away with it. And he did say croon under his breath. I don't care what nobody says. And then he kills Trayvon, gets off on it because he plays the role like, oh, I was defenseless, this big black young man. And that's what they do. They try to make black males out to be these monstrous figures that nobody can handle, nobody can deal with, while white boys go out and do mass killing like Timothy McVeigh, who went out, blew up a government building. Okay. By the way, according to the great late, and I love him, Dick Gregory, he said that was a government building, and just so happened that some of the kids that were in the daycare in that building were not at home, were not at school that day. And guess who? Most of their parents were working for the FBI. Okay, don't say I'm talking conspiracy. Look into it. And then they say, oh, he did it all by himself. And then after that happened, you don't see them profiling every white boy that fits the narrative or look of a Timothy McVeigh. However, in New York City, they had the stop and fricks, in which they were stopping black males, friksing them, you know, handling them to see if they got guns and drugs on them. And then they had to get rid of that law because it was unlawful. And they also found out that the majority of people who had the guns and drugs on them were the white boys walking around New York who were not being harassed as one. What do you think, Lions, then, about what I just said, brother?
Well, I totally agree with you, what you were saying, Info. I think the problem is the mainstream media is portraying black men like they're criminals. They've been, it's not the first time, it's definitely not the last. They're always portraying victims as criminals. When you're saying about Trayvon Martin, then there's Mike Brown, there's Jordan Davis, there's Eric Gardner, there's all these other victims that was portraying that, oh, he did something. It's like Eric Gardner case, for example, where they said that he basically selling looseless cigarettes. Mm-hmm. And realistically, there's been talk that there wasn't even the case. He was just breaking up the fight. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, and Info, that this is not the first time that the mainstream media is really portraying black men as criminals, as thugs. And you see a lot of white person when they do, oh, he suffered from some mental illness, or he suffered some psychiatric evaluation, and that's why he did what he did. Just really making excuses for them. And obviously it shows that we as black men has always been targeted by not just by the mainstream media, and saying a lot of stuff that it doesn't have anything to do with the incident that happened to them.
Well, let me say this. Let me read something. We have somebody that I pulled them up. Of course, when we look at the El Paso situation, we're not going to sleep on that, folks. The El Paso situation, it's obvious that the guy involved in that, he admitted he did it because he felt that Mexicans are coming over the border and they're going to take over the country. And I've said this on O'Shea Du Jackson show and many other shows. White people in general do have a fear for their genetic survival, as Dr. Frances Creston Wilson talked about in her ISIS Papers books. They have a concern that this is going to become a black planet, just as Public Enemy talked about, right? A fear of a black planet. And though they have that fear, and I think some of them have this fear, and then I know people are going to say, well, don't blame it on Trump. This has been going on before Trump. But guess what? You cannot deny that a lot of people who harbor these racist views, these hate groups, the David Duke types, you cannot deny that a lot of them rallied behind Trump and voted for Trump because they felt that he was speaking the language that they subscribe to. And you cannot deny when Trump speaks, he does speak in a dog whistle fashion. And that's just a fact. It ain't just Trump. There's been many other presidents out there who have talked like this.
Tell the truth.
Okay. Now let me read this by Armando. He says the reason he killed Mexicans in Texas was because the gringo was afraid of losing its power economically and socially and governmental in Texas. It's also about race. We are not white. Okay. But let me just say this to Armando in there. I have to be fair about this. This is the problem that I have, Mondo, is that why is it that when black people are catching hell, we don't often see many Latinos in mass? I'm talking about in mass, not a sprinkle, that will cape for us and say what's happening to black people is terrible and rally and talk about it. A lot of times we're being asked to support what's happening to you all, but a lot of times nobody is supporting what's happening to black people in mass. These kind of things that you are experiencing in your culture, my brother, black people have been experiencing this for God knows how long, and we've been talking about this, but nobody listens to our cries. So I'm just saying, not to deny what has happened in El Paso to your people was wrong. It was wrong. And we know that look, they're coming after everybody that they don't deem they want in this country. But black people, we've been here. We're the only people in this country who did not immigrate here. We came here in slavery and had our culture, our language, and our Norways and fourways ripped away from us. Nobody talks about that, right? Other people had to come over here by their own choice. Sometimes, maybe you're running away for political asylum or what have you. But we're the only ones that came over here, were beaten into slavery, and were made to build this goddamn country and the foundation of this country, which other people ride off our coattails. And then they ride off the programs that our people put into place. And then they give us sometimes no respect. That's a problem. But we gotta talk about these things. Okay. So Lion said, you got anything you want to say? Let me get in here and put some other people's messages up on the board here.
Yeah. When we're talking about the situation in El Paso, Texas, when you have a gunman travel from Allen, Texas, which is the suburban part of Dallas, came all from there all the way to El Paso and did some mass shooting at a Walmart in El Paso. And remember, I read his manifesto. Now, remember info that I did a video of the incident. And basically, I guess YouTube blocking my video because I was reading the entire manifesto of what this man was saying. But the reality is that this man that killed so many people in El Paso, the proof is in the pudding that he basically wants to take out Mexicans. He wants to kick the Mexicans out. Some of them had to deal with, he hates interracial relationships. So he's basically do not like interracial relationships at all. Okay. And basically, this is what I'm talking about. You see all these white nationalist terrorists, white supremacist terrorists are going after soft targets.
Right. That's right. They attack this is where they hit us at. They attack our young kids in school, our young girls, our young men. Right now, look, yeah. We got somebody right here, Lions Den, right here on the screen. I got their thing up talking about they know this guy. He says, I knew him personally. He loved black men. He was extremely misunderstood in school. Now, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Connor Butts, whatever the hell his name is? Or are you talking about the guy in El Paso? Who are you talking about? You got to emphasize that, because all I know is that he targeted, in this case, black people got hurt in this situation. All I know is white males, whether it's black people or any people, they are going around killing people in mass. The larger society tries to minimize the impact of this. So you're going to have to do some more explaining, as far as I'm concerned. Peace, 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 and virtue. Okay, let me see what brother Dubian is talking about. Oh, he's talking to folks out there. Let me go after. Let me see. Excuse me. QT1, what's going on, sister? And now our people are calling themselves savages like it's cool. Yeah, you know, that's some BS. Let me tell you something that we got to get away from. And maybe I'm sounding preachy right now, folks. And if I am, I don't care. I'm going to sound preachy. We got to get away. I think Millie Fuller Jr. talks about this. We got to get away from using these terms like dog. I'm not a goddamn dog. I don't have 4 legs. We got to get away from using these terms like savage. I'm not a savage. I'm a man made in the image and the power of God. Okay, I'm a man. But this is something that this is a problem that we have. We use these nicknames. You know why we get these? We come up with these nicknames because for so long, black men in this society have never been put on a pedestal, right? We've always been called the N-word, right? We've always been degraded. And so we come up with these fancy names. We come up with these names like dog and dog pound and Snoop Dogg this, and you know, and guess what? We're using terms that come from mafia movies that we watched, you know, Godfather movies. We're not even using terms to define ourselves when we're trying to be cute that has any connection to us culturally. There's nothing about a dog or using the N-word as we do when we try to use it as a way of saying, oh, this is a term of endearment. I don't care. You can you can dress it up all you want. Just because you put a duck in a tuxedo doesn't make it still a goddamn duck. Okay. So we use these terms to mask our true pain psychologically. And I deal with this in psychology by using terms that make us feel good about ourselves. Okay. When in reality, we really don't feel good about ourselves. And so we throw around these terms. Oh, savage. What's up, dog? I don't like none of it. Don't call me no goddamn dog. Dog is the lowest thing. The dog is beneath me. Man is above dog. And so why would I want to be a goddamn dog? I had to go on my my task force talk right there. How you doing, Lions Den? What are your thoughts? Okay, is Lions Den gone? Where are you at, Lions Den? Come on, brother. Let me see. We're having some technical difficulties. Lions Den, come on now, brother. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, brother. I don't know why why the audio is not working for you right now. Hopefully I can get you on here. Okay, let's see. The racists have never played. This is Bivens. The racists have never played fair, and we're never been playing chess with them neither. So wise at the narration and rhetoric and picture that they paint of black men. Me? Yes, brother. Go right ahead. I was reading someone had wrote something that hear me? Yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead. I think I lost I can hear you. Go ahead, brother.
You lost him when you turned it off and turned it back
okay,
on.
We gotta mute yourself now.
Info.
Yes. Are you there, brother? We're broadcasting, you know. Come on.
Why do you not
I can hear you, brother.
Oh, that
say something. Can you hear me?
It's dark.
Can you hear me? Okay, we got technical difficulties. Lions Den, I think he can't hear me. I'm trying to get his attention. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh man, I lost him. I couldn't hear
Can you hear me?
Well, can't you go back in your email and fix that problem? Go back and tune back in.
I'm gonna have to mute him because I can't have all this on the
after you.
Okay. I'll unmute him at the right time. So anyway, let me read some of these. Harris, long time, beautiful. How? Okay, we got some. I want to get to yes, but because Trump talks, it has amplified. Yeah. Now people are going to say that we shouldn't blame Trump. That this has been. I understand that.
Okay.
But okay, Lions Den, can you hear me? Okay, Lions Den is he's gone. Hopefully he'll come back in. So let me go back and read some more things that people were saying. As we should also, the white fear is reasonable, and race, tribe, or society should be on the defense. How is it this any different from being pro-black? Okay. Well, look, I'm a black man, so I don't need to define myself as I'm pro-black. I'm pro-black. I live black. I think black. I wake up every day. I realize that I'm black. Society reminds me of that, whether I don't want to be black or not. Okay, but it is what I am. Well, I'm doing this live stream simply because there is a contradiction between how white males are deemed in this society when they go out and commit these kind of crimes. Now, this young man, this despicable individual, it was already known that he was doing some terrorist stuff in school, talking about how he wanted to kill people, right? Also, they even had to shut the school down. So the thing is that it's the same pattern. White male is having some disturbance in school. People know that he's got problems, but they don't deal with it. And then after he goes out and commits a crime like this, now everybody want to either say, oh, I knew that guy was dangerous. Or everybody wants to say, I didn't know he was like that, right? Yet black children, and that's why I'm emphasizing this, black children get demonized for the littlest things in school, right? When I was in high school, you couldn't wear certain jackets or hats because back in the day we had the starter jackets. For those of y'all who remember those kind of, and they used to say, oh, that's gang related. You can't wear that to school. You can't wear that hat. You can't wear those shoes, right? That's black kids. And none of us were doing any gang banging. We were just wearing a fashion statement. So black kids get mistreated for just doing fashion, right? Let me tell you what happened to me in school. Okay, check this out. I used to break dance and strut back in the day. We're talking about 83, 82. I mean, way back when I was a kid in high school, right? And I was break dancing at school one day, and the vice principal picked me up and called my mom up talking about, we're going to send you home. Then he calls my mom up talking about, your son was break dancing and that's against the rules. And we were doing it on lunch break time, right? So I get sent home. I'm scared, thinking my mom's going to spank my ass, you know how it is, that good times type stuff. And then my mom said, what the hell? What did you do? I was dancing on my lunch break, Mom. So she took me back up to the school and said, look, if my son is cutting up in class, ain't getting his lessons done, and he's bullshitting around in that way, then you send him home. But don't send my son home for no goddamn dancing. Okay? So here we have black children in school who get sent home for some of the most pedestrian shit. And this kid was doing some serious stuff, and he didn't get put in any detention center. He didn't get put in juvenile. He didn't get put on medication, things of that nature. At least I haven't heard that, because they're going to usually say that stuff. Oh, they're mentally ill. Oh, he's a misunderstood youth. Let me see right here. We got B1 for life. White supremacist and Latino Zinneman wonder how he feels now. Well, Zinneman, which is despicable, he's using the gun that he used to kill Trayvon Martin. I think he auctioned it off for quite a bit of money. So it's despicable when you have individuals like that running around here with that kind of stuff. Let me see what else I got here. We got Sonia C's. It's good to see you, Sonia C's. Where were the Native Americans during the Katrina when we needed a place to go? That's right. That's what I'm trying to say. When black people are catching hell in America, nobody seems to be our friend. You fix my camera right here. Nobody seems, oh, that looks better. I think it was blurrier before. Nobody seems to give a damn about us when we're catching all types of hell. Nobody's checking for black people, but we're always being asked to check for everybody else. Just like right now with this political situation, and you got the Democrats, and you all saw that debate or that clown show. All right, they even threw Obama under the bus. God damn it, that shows you how much they give a damn about black people. I mean, even Obama, who they loved at one point in time, they threw him under the bus, right? And so you got the Democrats looking buffoonish, putting out, throwing each other under the bus, giving Trump and many others all the ammunition they need. I'm telling you right now, folks, Trump is going to get a second term, not because I want him to get a second term, not because he's the best president, because he is, oh God, no. Okay. And he's losing black support. It's down to 7%. So for you black folks out there talking about, oh, Trump is good for black people, and all this kind of talk, look, he's losing a black support down to 7%. And then go talk to those coal miners that are not getting paid right now, when Trump was running around talking about how he was going to bring back all these industrial jobs, which are ridiculous. We're going in the 21st century and we still playing around with coal. And then he's saying stupid stuff like clean coal. There is no such thing as clean coal. So our political system is all screwed up, right? And so you got this kid running around doing this type of nonsense. And let me put this back up here again for everybody to see what he did. This is what he did. Let me see this right here. Overlay. Let me see this right here. So this is what he did. He harmed these folks right here. He did harm. I have yet to personally meet any good. I hear what you're saying, Queen. I know I am. Look. You know, there's people out there that'll help you. There's people out there that's going to be against you. But the reality is that black people, no matter what, we have to stick together. All this beefing. Now, I'm going to sound like I'm giving a sermon here, but so be it. All this beefing that we're doing on YouTube, fighting one another, it does not help our channels. It doesn't help the growth of our channel. It doesn't help us to get to where we need to get. We've got to come together. We have the energy to fight against each other, but we don't show the same enemy when it comes to those who are clearly against us, that are clearly out to harm us and do us harm. Okay. And that's why I'm saying right now, you may say, what is the solution to this whole thing? Right. Okay. They tell us as black people that we need to deal with black on black crime. And I hate that term, right? What are y'all going to do about black on black crime, black people? They tell us that all the time, right? Well, if we need to do something about black on black crime, white people surely need to do something about their white male mass shooters. So why is it that it's not fair to say white people in America, you got to do something about your young white males and your middle-aged white males, like that fool in Las Vegas that go around shooting people. Matter of fact, you could say that it was white on white crime in Las Vegas when he shot a good majority of the people that went to that country concert were white people. But nobody says that. Let me bring up another issue that people have forgotten about. What about Waco, Texas? Waco, Texas, everybody. Waco, Texas, you had a OK Corral shootout between white biker gangs. They were shooting up the place. You would think it's back in the cowboy days. And guess what happened? They rounded them up, but guess what? None of them are doing any time in prison or any serious time right now. They gave them a good old boy get out of jail card. Okay. This is what happens. Black males, if we have a fight, if we were to have a fight, a small fight and skirmish, they'll say, oh, that's black gang activity, right? When Nipsey Hussle, and God rest his soul, when Nipsey Hussle was killed, the first thing that they ran to was it's a gang related, when all accounts show that that idiot who shot him had some personal issues and jealousy of Nipsey Hussle, not to mention that there's other conspiracy theories that you could throw out there as to why one Nipsey Hussle is no longer with us. Now, let me read Brother Aduvian what he's saying. He says the minister said the Caucasian who helped an old woman across the street does not make him good or something like that. Okay, that's what Minister Louis Farrakhan says. You know, Minister Louis Farrakhan is going to say things that's going to get people eyebrows raising and make people say, wait a minute, let me think about what Minister Louis Farrakhan just said. Vonda Harris just made these statements. We need to quit adapting the sorry ass names that the dominant society calls us and trying to make it a positive. Yes. We need to stop adopting. Matter of fact, for those of you out there that are fans of, you know, the man, tell the truth, real brother, who always says that we are using the narratives of white people to define ourselves when those narratives are negative narratives of ourselves. So we got to watch that. Now I see I got my man in the house himself, Mr. Nick Taylor. Nick Taylor, I saw your video today, brother, that you did on what's happening in Chicago. Believe me, brother, I'm not excusing the violence that's been going on in Chicago. Certainly the violence in Chicago is a problem, but we should not use Chicago as the barometer to say, well, because Chicago has these problems, this is reflective of all black people in America, that all black people are going around shooting each other. And I'm not saying that you're saying that, brother Nick. They've got problems in Chicago and it's got to be dealt with. But this is what I want to ask you, brother. If we say that we got black on black crime and that black people have to do something about this type of crime amongst each other, then certainly would you agree with me or not agree with me that when it comes to white boys who have been doing mass shooting in this country, isn't that the responsibility of white folks to get white folks in line, just as we're quick to say that black people need to get each other in line when it comes to pants below our asses and shooting each other and holding each other accountable? We like to always say that we got to keep women accountable, but when the hell are we going to just keep ourselves accountable as black people? Now let me read what brother Nick Taylor saying here. He says, turn out the Dayton shooter was a self-proclaimed socialist and a Senate Warren supporter. Okay, Nick Taylor, I don't care if he was a fan of Obama, Jimmy Crack Corn Carter, or Reagan, or even Trump. I don't care if he's a card member of Disneyland. I don't care if he's got a membership to a year subscription to Ebony or Jet Magazine. It still don't change the fact that he went out there, he killed people, and America does not address the mass shooting issues in proper context. I'm not saying that people should have their guns taken from them. I don't believe in taking guns from people. If you got your gun lawful under the law, I just believe that something's got to be done about the white male psyche in this country where they can go out and do this. And then they want to act like, oh, it's mental illness for them. But for black folks, it's that we have a pathology for violence. Now, let me show you something right here. Now, I'm not playing with y'all tonight on the Information Man Show. I'm not playing with y'all. Because I'm going to show you something. Now, let me show you that. I got to get rid of that just real quick. Let me read what it's saying. We got Brother Jeffries. He says, black men been put under the gravestone. Only time for black men to put on one if he built one for himself. Wow. That's a pretty interesting statement, brother. Very interesting. Let me see this right here. Okay, so on that chart, I want to read this chart to you right here. On that chart, this is the crime statistics I've been talking about. FBI crime statistics. That's from 2017, but it's still relevant. Manslaughter. 52.4% white men engage in manslaughter. Okay. 45.3% of black males. Rape. 74.8% white males engage in rape, 22.9% black men. Robbery is a little bit higher for black men at 51.7%, 47.0% for white men. But look at this. Aggregated assaults, 68.3% for white males, 29.2% for black males. Arson, Arson is at 75.2% for white males, 22.5% for black males. Violent crimes, 64.9% for white males, and that would be considered violent crimes, the mass shooting, where 32.9% for black males. Property crime, 68.9% for white males, 29.2% for black males. Other assaults, 70.4% for white males, 0.3% for black males. Now, when it comes to family, right? Stolen family, whippings, 60.7% for white males, 37.4% for black males. Okay, so when it comes to violence, white males lead the pack in that. When it comes to overall violence, and another thing too, when it comes to rape, domestic abuse of the family and children, white males lead in that as well. So I don't want nobody telling me, don't be telling me that black men have a pathology for violence. See, sexual offenses. Sexual offenses are at 76.0%, 21.5% for white males. Drug use, 72.5% for white males and 25.7% for black males. So with that said, let me just go right here and do something and pull that off there. So don't come telling me that black folks have a pathology for violence and mistreatment of people. Don't come telling me with that. It's not true. Matter of fact, like I said, America, white America, has got to do something about white males and their problems when it comes to this mass shooting and other crimes that they do, because they certainly tell you that something has to be done about black communities. They certainly tell us, what about black on black crime? See, they always say that when you point out their effery. They always say that when you're on top of their effery. Okay. And then we turn around and use their same talking points to say, yeah, there is black on black. Yeah, there is black on black crime. Like I told you before, I work in the prison system. California has the largest prison system in the goddamn world. I see these guys' criminal files and records personally. The majority of all the races, when they go to prison for murder and crimes, it's usually because they did the crime on another person of the same goddamn race. Of the same damn race. But they don't push those statistics out very heavily when it comes to their negatives, but they will emphasize our negatives. So what they do, it's called maximizing the minimum and minimizing the maximum. So if white men are engaging in most of the criminal activity in this country, they minimize it. They minimize the maximum of what white males do. And if black males are only a small, we're only 13% of the population. If we're not committing all the damn crimes, but we're maybe committing some crime, they will take whatever that small number of us that are engaging in crime and they'll maximize it. Just like we get on YouTube and we use celebrities and athletes as the example of saying, oh, see, for example, Nicole Murphy is messing around. See, that's how black women are. These are celebrity people. They've been doing that for goddamn God knows how long. We keep judging ourselves by the minimum as if it represents all the things that black men are doing and all the things that black women are doing when it doesn't. Black men are in college more than they are in prison. I've seen the numbers. Black men have moved into the middle class, upper middle class at 2.5 million. Okay. I did a video not too long ago talking about the myths of black marriage and the myth that we've been on these YouTube streets talking about that, oh, black women don't get married. Statistically, black women, when they are educated, have education, they have a higher propensity of getting married. By age 40, most educated black women, there are other circumstances, usually in some cases are married. 85% of educated black men are marrying black women. 83% of black men who have various college education are marrying black women. Okay. And men who have no college education, when black men marry, we marry black women. So this whole notion that we run around only chasing after the interracial stuff is not true, folks. Look at that video I did. Look at the numbers I put in there. It was researched, okay, by there was an article called Thought Core that talked about this. So we get on YouTube and we use what's happening in the celebrity world as a barometer for what's happening in the Black community. And most of us haven't been in every goddamn Black community in the society. We got 50 whatever states. We got Black communities dispersed in different parts of the country, the West Coast, the South, the North. You ain't been in every goddamn Black community. And not every Black community is a poor socially economic community. We got rich Black communities. We got middle-class Black communities. And then we have the poor Black communities. Well, guess what? When we look at the poor Black communities and we say, what's wrong with the poor Black communities? The reality is that the poor Black communities are behave the way they do because, one, you got if there's no jobs, there's no education. If you have poor education, no jobs, and then you're going to have an increase in crime, right? And if you have an increase in crime, you're going to have an increase in inappropriate behavior. And you grow up in that environment, and you're only going to go by what you have to look at to learn from. If it's a negative community with drugs and gang violence, and then we ask ourselves, why does this keep happening? Because these communities are throwaway communities that do not have economic growth, do not have opportunity. When you give Black men opportunity in particular, we can do great things. I have done it personally. I have gone into these kind of communities, and I have worked with young men, and I have seen them blossom to this day. So it can be done. See, some of us on YouTube are actually here for a damn solution, and some of us are just here for entertainment. Now, let me read some of the things in the chat room that people are saying and read them as best I can. Okay, we got Filthy Franks. Peace to you, brother. You say that list means nothing because as long as they control the narrative, the media, and the image, they will always depict us as criminals and them as innocent. You're absolutely right, Filthy Frank. You're absolutely right. That's really what I'm saying tonight. You're agreeing with what I'm saying. Let me get into your comments. Brother Aduvian, all they're saying is it's because they're more white cops. Okay, let me get into Vonda Hare. She says, hit the likes, everybody. Yeah, hit the likes. Everybody, if you like what I'm doing tonight, please go ahead and, if you could, share this video in your social media. I really appreciate everything that you all doing. I really should have turned on the on my phone tonight to have people call in, but I'll do that another night because I don't want to keep everybody up all night. Okay, brother Filthy Frank. Hey, thank you, Mohawk, for coming in. I appreciate you being here. Everybody that's in here, let me give you a little bit of love. Media, aka Manic European Devil. Let me see if I can send Lions Den another link. I don't know what happened to that brother, but let me see if I can send him another link into the program. I really thank you all for being here tonight and joining me. I love this StreamYard. It allows you to do a lot of interesting, cool things. So I love it. So there it is. I just send Lions Den a link to come on back on in. I've been running my mouth and I need to get him back in for a little bit, see what he's got to say. Let's see what my man Dallas is saying here. Let's see. Boom. Okay. Media, aka. Okay. No, I read that already. Black on black, my black ass. Patience, I love what you said. Go on, girl. Tell it like it is. I like what you just said. I love what you just said. Man, love it, love it, love it. You keeping it 100% real tonight, sister. 100% real. So let's go back over here and read some more stuff that people are saying here. Let's see. Oh, we got Carl's opinion. Carl's opinion. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Carl's opinion. I appreciate the super chat. Okay, thank you for the super chat, and let me give you a clap for that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I really appreciate that, Carl's opinion, for the super chat. That's cool. Thank you for coming in. I'm gonna probably try to read what you wrote, but let me go back up here and do a couple of things. Let me see here. There we go. Boom, enlarge the font there. And let's go back into this right here. Okay, let me let's see what other people are saying. Okay, let me see. That's why the federal time was so important for them to cut. It was not for the brothers doing the state time. Yeah, that's true. So Carl's opinion, what I'm trying to say right now, Carl, is that you know, a lot of times people say that what are black people going to do about black on black crime, right? That we need to do something about the crime that black people engage in on each other. And if we're going to say that, then we must be honest and say that white people need to deal with the problem that white males are having in this society as it relates to this mass shooting that they're doing. And I'm not sitting up here saying, well, he did it because of Trump. This has been going on way before Trump, right? But white males are doing this. That not only they're killing white people, they're killing people like yourself, Carl's opinion. And then they're getting themselves entangled in these racial type groups, this hate type stuff, this Ku Klux Klan type stuff, and this devilish type stuff. And then the media always paints it as mental illness. Oh, you got to be understanding. And when young white males do this, and middle-aged white males, society talks about it. And then after a while, they move on. But the white male are not being profiled that fit his ilk. And I'm saying, Carl's opinion, that white folks, I'm sorry, this is y'all problem. It's a problem that y'all got to deal with. Because it ain't a black people's problem, because 9 or 10 times y'all tell us to clean up our mess. Now we got my man Earl Owens on. He says they minimize Harvey Weinstein. Yep, they minimize Harvey Weinstein, and then they turn around and minimize this guy, what's that guy? Epstein. He was running a sex trafficking situation. And you notice nobody's dealing with Epstein like they should. He's right. I mean, yeah, he's going to probably go to prison, but they were looking at giving this man an opportunity to go home and live in his mansion while he awaited trial. That's crazy. Then you got all these people around him. Don't tell me they didn't know what he was doing. Even Trump has had some association with this dude. Even the guy that had who put in his resignation under the Trump administration, Costas or whatever his name, he had some dealings with them. I'm telling you, when you're that powerful and you got money, believe me, there's other guys like him that are well known that's probably been frequenting and participating in some of his escapades, but nobody talks about that. Nobody wants to deal with that. Okay, we got Tech Brown in here. If we were so violent, they wouldn't be any mass shootings in the first place. Right on. If we were so violent, there would not be any mass shootings in the first place. That's right. Okay. Now let's see. Maybe I read that wrong, folks. Y'all tell me. All right. Let me see what else other people are saying. Let me give some. Oh, we got 6 flags in the house. We got 6-figure days. I'm sorry, 6-figure days. What's going on? It's good to see you here. Brother Aduvian. Whoa, sister, he says. Let me see. Let me find something that somebody's actually writing about. Okay. Queen, I know I am, says all the recent with sexual predators got off and we're not prosecuting as wrong. Right. Hey, look, where I work at, I have seen guys who fit the profile that I'm talking about who did rape, and they get 5 and they get a small amount of time. And then you find out it's the community that they're in, right? It's the legal defense that they had, right? It's whether they had money to manipulate the system, right? You got to have money. If you don't have money in America, and OJ is an example of this. The only reason why OJ got off the first time is because he had the money to get the best legal defense that helped him. If OJ was just some busted, crusty, musty brother, he would have been in jail before the damn sun came up. Okay, the daylight was over. Okay, so let me get some more statements in here. Let's see. We got We got J-Man. Nobody talks about Pizzagate. Oh yeah. Well, Pizzagate. Let me just tell you this. I know when Hillary was running for president, there was this whole thing about some restaurant where they were doing something, a pizza restaurant. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, J-Man, but if you do more research, you would know that there was no special room in this pizza place that they were claiming, that was propaganda to a certain degree. And let me make it very clear to everybody out there. I'm no fan of Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. I'm no fan of the Democrats now. Democrats have shown themselves to be buffoons. Okay? The Democrats have been buffoons. But I want to ask the black conservatives out there, or conservatives, what do the Republican Party have to offer black people that's tangible? What have you done for us that would make us want to ride with you? When have you caped for the masses of black people? Because the last time I checked, the Republican Party tends, and I'm saying they tend to be about big business. They tend to be in bed with corporations. Not that the Democrats are not in bed with corporations, because they certainly are, but they tend to be about the business of corporations. Okay? Well, my question is, don't give me this George Abraham Lincoln stuff, because I can tell you right now, Abraham Lincoln didn't give a damn about black people. He was willing to do anything he had to keep the Union together, if it meant us being freed or not. And when he did free black people, he freed a few black people in the South, like in places like Texas, which is why we got the Juneteenth celebration, as a way of economic sanctions on the South. And let me give you, for some of your Republicans out there and conservatives, let me give you something else to bite on right now. It's the Information Man Show. Go do your research on the Knights of the Golden Circle. The Southerners had a contingency plan that if they were going to lose the war, which they knew they were going to lose the war, they were going to try to take their slave plantation ways down to the Rio Grande into Texas. They were going to set up shop there. You had a secret Southern organization called the Knights of the Golden Circle. And the rumor has it that Jesse James was a member of this organization, which is why he was going around robbing banks and leaving gold and shit dug up places to be dug up. So they had a plan, which is the reason why this is the reason why we can talk about the Alamo battle between Mexico with the Mexicans, because Mexico had outlawed slavery, and they told the white folks in the South, you can't come in here with your slaves. Get out of here with that. Okay? So that's some history for you. Let me read some other stuff. People, we got Brenda Johnson. I love Brenda Johnson. Wish to see you a lot more around here, Brenda Johnson. She says this: they are working overtime to bury their crimes. Epstein, Weinstein, and Dortschwitz, and the mental illness of mass shooters, but quick to try to convict a 10-year-old for playing volleyball. That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda Johnson. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that right now.
Tell the truth.
Now, I know that Tariq Nasheed talked about this on his channel. How many of you are familiar with the dodgeball situation? You got a young black male playing dodgeball in school. He gets booted out of school. They're pressing charges against him. And while at the same time, you got guys like Connor Butts writing lists about how he's going to kill people. You got Connor Butts being a menace to society. Okay. All right. You got Connor Butts making a school be shut down, but nobody examined this individual, but they're on television after he did this, talking about, he was a nice guy. We can't believe he did this. Man killed his own sister too. Now, Carl's opinion, I appreciate the super chat. Like I said, again, Carl's opinion says this: they're not mentally ill. They are losers. That's right, Carl's opinion. That's our stunning by common white folks. Only difference is that they can find friends on the internet, echo chamber. That's right, Carl's opinion. There is not a lot of them, but they do know how to shoot. Woo, Carl's opinion. You're right. I got to give you some thunder for that.
Information is power.
All right. I actually love the new system that I'm using because I can actually really have I can engage the audience even better than I could before. Sonia C says this, that whites are the only race that are so abusive with pedophilia that they build schools, churches, and nurseries, gyms, and playgrounds, campuses, and hospitals, become missionaries specifically to molest children. You can make an argument because there's been a lot of articles, there's been a lot of things that have happened in history with the Catholic Church. Okay, you've had missionaries that have gone over to Africa that are doing things with kids. These are realities. I can say that. Let me see this again. Infoman, do you know anything about the letter Trump was passing around at Bush's funeral? No, I don't know anything about his letter, but you can tell us about it. And you can tell us about it. Give us more details because I don't know what you're talking about. Let go, my man D. Durrell. Yeah, the Catholic Church. Yeah, the Catholic Church has been preying on children for many years. And it is what it is, but they've been praying. They've been praying. D. Durrell, it's good to see you. We got Poetic Justice in there. Let me see what she's talking about. Yes, Infoman, Poetic Justice. Look at the lovely Poetic Justice on her picture there. Girl, let me get your phone number. I'm just having fun. Let me see what we got here. Oh, we got Gigi's in the house. They even adopt the enslaved. Yeah, we got Gigi in the house. So I'm just keeping it 100% real with y'all tonight. I know some folks that are following me on my channel are probably going to unsubscribe because of the things that I'm saying. And if you unsubscribe, then you never were with me in the first place. Okay, I just got to be honest. I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat it and say, okay, there was a shooting in El Paso, Texas, and there was a shooting over here, and it was terrible what happened. No, we got to examine the psychology of American society. Now, I was supposed to be on BMT's show tonight talking about gun rights, right? And I told everybody yesterday, I don't think anybody should have their guns taken away. I'm supposed to be debating with them about this. Look, America has an insatiable appetite with the gun. Excuse me. It was because, and I understand why. America was built on bloodshed. It was built on murder. It was built on the enslavement and the oppression of people, right? When you look at the Europeans, when they came over from Europe, most of them originally were criminals of Europe. Many of them were booted out of Europe. Remember, many of them came over as indigent servants originally, right? And so if you've got a criminal mentality, and I know this working in prison, you never really lose the criminal mentality completely. So to me, it's not a coincidence that they eventually enslaved us, because they were simply doing what criminals do, which is you parasite off of people, you manipulate and mistreat people. That's what some criminals do. And so a lot of them that came over started out that way. And it started off with gunfire and war. The Revolutionary War against the great bank, or the great power of Britain, which was based off of the taxation, the great bank, the central world, a central bank. And you even had, I think it was Thomas Jefferson, who had a quote where he says, the day that we have a central bank in America will be the day that our sons and daughters will be naked and out of houses and out of economic power. They never wanted a central bank. In America, what is our central bank in America? It's called the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve ain't even federal. It's a private damn bank. Those wig-wearing founders, as they call themselves, didn't even want that, okay? So they fought against Great Britain because they didn't want that. And then you had Negroes like Chris McAdams, who they always quote as, oh, he's the first black man to die in the Revolutionary War. According to my man, Khalid Muhammad, the Negro should have died. He fought on the wrong side. Because once they fought for their justice and equality and freedom, then what did they do? They didn't give us any justice, equality, and freedom. We're the only people in this country who had to have laws made directly to give us certain rights deemed to us, and we still don't get the damn rights. And the reason why black people, when we're killed and mistreated by the police and other people in this society, because they don't see us as a full citizen. They see us as, you know what I'm about to say, 3/5 human being. We are still seen as 3/5 human beings. Okay? We're still seen as that. You caught that too, Robin. What's going on in the chat room right now? Queen. Okay. Robin the Wonder Girl. Robin the Wonder Girl, where is Lion's Den? I send him a link. I need him back on here. So let me do it again before I end the program for tonight. I thank everybody for being here tonight with me. And while I do that, let me play a little bit of music for you. Okay, I'm back. Let me read some more of these lovely messages in the chat. Dallas says it's all about the end game, bottom line. Okay, brother Dallas, you've been supporting me strong, brother, and I appreciate you a lot. Can you break it down a little bit more, brother? When you say it's all about the end game, bottom line, give it to us, brother. Tell us what that bottom line is. Damn it, I really should have just put my my phone lines on so folks could call in. But let me black has no standard in law. Okay, you're right. Now, Mr. Mohawk, you are an Aborigine. Black people were definitely here. We were here not as slaves originally. You got that right. And I love a book. If there's a book that you need to read, everybody, it's the book called They Came Before Columbus, 800 BC by Ivan van Sertima. I studied that in school. You got to get that book. It talks about how Africans did travel over here, how you did have great men here, great black people that were here. They built incredible statues. And I got Lion's Den back on. They built incredible statues in respect to black men who they thought were gods. And I do mean gods. Okay? Study melanin and how powerful melanin is, and how some of you will think that when you die, that death means that you're gone. No, you transition to a whole nother level when you die, because you go back to the darkness, you go back to the dark matter, which you come from, which is power, baby. Okay, Lions, then you're back on. I was concerned about what was going on, brother, but can you say something? Let's see that we can hear you. Say something, brother.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, good. I can hear you, Lions. Then let me read this statement by J Man in the chat room saying, I was told that Republicans passed a gun law for slaves to protect themselves from slave masters back then. How true is that? Yeah. One of the things about the Republican Party back way then, the Republican Party was, I think, the first party that did sign certain bills that allowed black people to go into freedom. Yeah, the Republican Party back then did do certain things, because the Democratic Party, as you may know, was the party of the Dixiecrats, right? But this is the deal, J-Man. Remember, when LB signed the 65 Voters' Right Act, what did he say? He said, we have lost the South forever. And what happened? Those Dixiecrats jumped from the Democratic Party. Come on, I'm going to tell you goddamn history now. The Dixiecrats jumped from the Democratic Party over to the Republican Party, which is one of the reasons why the Republican Party is sort of like it is today. And then, so the Democratic Party started to shift. That's the reason why black people shifted over to the Democratic Party, because the Republican Party was changing. Many black people in the 1920s, in the early years of this country, were Republicans too. But we saw that our interests, PZ, this is the thing about black people. We vote our interests. If you're not saying anything that resonates with the things that we deal with, then we're not going to support you. The Democrats played the game on us by acting like they were in our best interest, when in fact they're not in our best interest. They pandered to us, just like they're pandering to this whole thing about immigration. When you look at the Democratic debate, you notice there was nothing said about the reparations issue, hardly. I mean, you had the one lady on there who talked about it from Hawaii, you know, with the white suit, tight white suit on her. And but they not dealing with our issues. They're talking about, I mean, Kamala Harris, she said that the first thing that she would do if she got in office was to give amnesty to the illegals. This is my problem. I don't have a problem with people coming to this country if you come over here the right way. But if you come over here illegally and now you get to eat off my table, that ain't right. That ain't right for people who came over here legally, and it damn sure ain't right for black folks, ADOS folks, who have been mistreated by this society in many ways. And then you come over and and we're supposed to like cape for you when nobody capes for us. I got a problem with that. Lions Den, you got anything you want to add? You've been hearing what I've been running off at the mouth about. I want to get into the R. Kelly situation. I want to talk about the gay reparation issue as well. Give it to us, whatever's on your mind, brother.
Well, we've been talking about the mass shootings that were happening with Dayton, Ohio, and of course, El Paso, Texas. But, you know, we're starting from day one. Obviously, what we're seeing is that I'm watch info when I'm about to say this, and people going to call me a conspiracy theorist, which I don't give a damn. But I will say this. Well, I will say this. White supremacist sleeper cells is awakened. It's been awakened since Trump is in office. And everybody gonna say, well, there you go, conspiracy theories once again. But I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. That I told y'all, and I said this is white supremacists has sleeper cells. And look what's happening in the last couple of months. Too much mass shootings that are happening across this country. And I told you these are sleeper cells of white supremacists that are launching out because of Trump's presidency.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, Lions Den. This is how I look at it. I don't think that because Donald Trump is in office alone, that is what is. We've always had white supremacists or white men who think that they're supreme to black people. We've always had that, right? Back in the early 80s, I'm a little bit older than you. I'm 49 years old. I remember a time, let me give you some history here. I remember a time when the skinheads would wear their combat boots, their jeans, and their leather jackets, and they would go around kicking people's butts, attacking people on the streets, right? And what was happening is that a lot of these type of groups like you saw in Charlottesville, but those guys were pretenders in Charlottesville. They wasn't the real deal. Them guys walking around with tiki torches, they was scary cats, okay? They made themselves look gruesome with their tiki torches from Walmart or somewhere they got it from, right? But back in the day, you had some real hardcore skinhead type guys that would definitely beat up on you, right? And so they were going to prison and doing time in jail, right? And eventually their leadership, they came to a conclusion, we can't have you guys going to jail. We got to have total power. And how do we manifest that total power? We got to get you in government. We got to get you to become a senator, a congressperson, a mayor, right? In charge of the goddamn school. So a lot of these white supremacists turned in their Ku Klux Klan's hats and turned in their combat boots and their leather jacket, skinhead type stuff, and they put on suits. They're the principal of your school, right? So they didn't go away. They just grew up and they've integrated into society, into jobs. They've gone into the military. They've gone into the police department. The FBI a few years ago said that they knew, the FBI knows this, that there's a certain number of these hate groups that have infiltrated the police department. And then we see it manifesting itself on the streets and how black people in particular are treated. Okay. Now I know someone's going to say, well, info man, white people get killed by police more than black people. Ha 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 ha. I got your ass now. I'm going to tell you what happens. Most of the white people who get shot by police is because they are armed with a gun and they're in the midst of a crime and they're in the midst of battling with the cops. And then they end up getting shot. A good majority of black men who end up shot have no guns on them, no weapons. And we have seen that being played out. So anybody that wants to push that narrative, put it in your pipe and smoke it and take your ass somewhere else, because white men that are getting shot is because they do have weapons on them and they are pointing it at cops. And we've also seen examples where they have talked crap to police and they get away with it. And the police will say, okay, sir, have a good day, you know, right? So these are some of the things that play themselves out. What I'm saying to you, Lions, in a nutshell, is that even before Trump came into office, you had these type of characters under Reagan, under Nixon, all the way back. You had these kind of characters, right? I don't think that you have these groups only because of Trump. I think Trump sort of helps amplify it because he speaks in a dog whistle term. I don't care what anybody say. The term "Make America Great Again." This is what I have to say to everybody out there listening. When was America not great? I want somebody to answer that in the chat room. Okay. When was America not great? And particularly, when was America not great for white people? Because America has definitely been a nightmare for black people on a historical level in the way we've been disenfranchised in this country, right? Now, we know we're making strides today. You know, we're getting educated. We're going to school. We're moving on up in some areas. But overall, when was America not great? And particularly, when was America never great for white folks? That's why when Donald Trump says that term, it is a dog whistle that speaks to certain groups. And then another question you have to ask yourself, why is it that poor white people in the South, why do they vote for Republicans who tend to be for big business? Why are they voting for rich white men when they are a poor white male? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you vote for to keep rich white men in power who at the end of the day don't care about you? I remember there's a famous line. There's a thing called the Southern Strategy, right? And LB said this, that you give them someone to look down upon, right? You give them someone. If you give them someone to look down upon, they will pick their pockets for you. You won't have to pick their pockets. So what Donald Trump did is, with using Mexicans and other people, he gives poor white males in the South someone to look down on. First, they were looking down on black people. That's why the Ku Klux Klan ratcheted up in the South, because when black people came out of Reconstruction into freedom, so-called freedom, they were concerned that black males were going to take their jobs and were going to rape their women. So that's when these hate groups really fired themselves up, right? So today, you give them someone to look down upon, and they won't see that you're picking their pockets. So the white rich politician tells the white male, you're losing your jobs to the Mexicans. You're losing your jobs to the black people. They speak in this coded language. You got busing. You got forced busing. They talk all this Southern strategy talk, right? Right to work state type rhetoric, right? And then they're saying the buzzwords, and they're giving poor white men someone to look down upon, which will be a black man or a Latino man or whoever to look down upon, right? And say, yeah, I don't got no job because they're taking the goddamn jobs, right? You give them something to look down to, and while you give them someone to look down upon, the poor white man doesn't see that the rich white man is taking his money, because the poor white man will pick his pockets for them and will believe in anything that they say, so much that they will vote against their interests. And that's why someone like a Donald Trump can get in office, because he knew what American society was about. And Donald Trump ain't nothing but a rich white man from Queens, New York. He's a draft dodger. He walks around like he's all about the military. He had that military parade that actually put Washington, D.C., one of their budgets, in a deficit now. He runs around praising dictators who have killed people, because he thinks that that's the way to keep this good relationship going. And that little Asian guy over there in Korea, believe me, he's still playing around with his rockets, okay? He don't give a damn about Trump. Putin don't give a damn about Trump. Putin's using Trump like a sucker because Putin is KGB. Trump is a little guy to him. So Trump is being manipulated by these larger leaders that he looks up to and praises all the goddamn time. And he pushes these narratives because he knows exactly how to run the game, the same con game that he ran in New York. People in New York know who Trump is. They know he's a con guy. It's just that people in the South have been so misled by the guy. I mean, so so those of you who are big time supporters of him, answer that question. Why are you supporting a man who's a draft dodger? Okay, if you're so about America being great again, why are you supporting a man who's a rich dude, a squeaky rich dude who's never worked a hard day of his life like you have, poor white male? Huh? Answer that. So until you can answer those questions, don't be coming to me or any black folks on this platform demanding us to answer your questions. You answer our goddamn questions. We built the goddamn country that you've been benefiting from all these damn years. I'm probably gonna lose some subscribers tonight, Lions Den, but I don't care. Lions Den, go ahead, man. I've been running my mouth.
Yeah, part of what you just said, it was the truth though. But I think that what we're seeing is that a pattern of white supremacist terrorists is hitting us one by one by one. And you're absolutely right that it's not just about Donald Trump. It's way before Donald Trump. What we're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, and information man, is that again we see. I'm just tell you straight up that it's basically we're seeing sleeper cells. We're seeing white supremacist sleeper cells across this country, giving a green light of doing mass terror on every places. When you go to a park, when you go to shop at Walmart, when you go to a party, they know that's gonna be their soft targets.
Right.
So with Trump, I mean, this is not just you're absolutely right, Info. This is not just about Donald Trump. It's about the white supremacists that we've been harassed, has been attacked, has been murdered, lynched for 500 years, and all of a sudden now the whole world is watching what the United States is doing, and so Trump can basically Trump can give condolences to the families all he wants to, but at the end of the day, the people that's doing this, the white supremacist terrorists that's doing this, is praising this man like he's Hitler.
Well, let me just say this. Let's I don't want to tell you what to do, Lions Den, but this is what I like to say. It's white people who believe that they are superior to us. They're not superior to us, but they believe they do. That's how I look at it now. Now, let me read what Carl's opinion stated. And I agree with you, Lions Den, but I don't want to come off tonight because I know people are going to say, oh, you're saying white supremacy, it doesn't exist. You're saying that they're superior. No, they believe that they're superior, but we know that's not true. Carl's opinion, thank you for the super chat again. Let me give you a clap again.
Tell the truth.
Okay, Carl's opinion says, from Carl's opinion, 1973 Gallup poll had 95% of white folks opposed to busing. Some polls had 91% of black folks opposed to busing. Same reason took their kids out of their neighborhoods. Yeah, Carl, you're absolutely right. There were a lot of black people that were opposed to it because we felt that it was one of the reasons why is because you know as well as I know, Carl, that you had a lot of things happening in the country at that time. A lot of racism, prejudice, people were segregated. White people didn't want black people going to school with their kids, and black people were concerned about their kids going to school with white kids because of the racism. And let's be honest, a lot of white people had a problem with black people going to school with them, particularly the fathers, because they were concerned about the sex. They didn't want black young males being in school, getting their hands on their daughters, or playing sports with their sons and all that kind of stuff. It's the same narrative that goes back to the Abraham Lincoln time when we came out of Reconstruction and the Ku Klux Klan came to life in that movie, that horrible movie, The Birth of the Nation, which is the first cinema movie in this country. That movie is the reason why Hollywood is where it is today. That was the movie that made Hollywood it is today. Okay. I think it was one president that said it was truth written in lightning or some crap like that, he said. So the white men being concerned about the sexual thing, black men engaging with the white girls. And that goes back to Dr. Frances Crelson Welsing when she talks about the annihilation, because black is not recessive. We can produce with any child, and that black blood is going to stick out. And that is where the fear of genetic survival goes down to. It's a science to it. Now, I know I'm saying things that are going to make people feel uncomfortable. People are going to unsubscribe. If you unsubscribe, go ahead and unsubscribe, because I'm not going to stop speaking the truth, because this is what it's all about.
Tell the truth.
Now let me go ahead and Carl, you did make good points, Carl. I'm not disagreeing with what you just put on the screen, Carl, because you do make some that is factual, but there's reasons behind, as you already know, why folks felt that way. Let's get into the I don't know if we're going here with it now, but once again, something has to be done with the mass shooting. They have to hold their people accountable. As everyone is saying, the most popular word that's being said now, you've got to hold your own nuts. And white folks have got to hold their own nuts when it comes to dealing with their people and their problems, as they want us to deal with our people. So let's go with that for right now, because that is need to be said, Lionston. Now let's go. I'm going to put something up on the screen, and you guys all know about this right now. And that's Art Kelly. My God, Art Kelly. Look at this. Look at him. Now, Lions Den, do you know what's currently going on with Art Kelly right now? There was a story broke about Art Kelly today.
Yeah, Art Kelly, we've been told that he's been in serious trouble, that he was accused of trying to mess with underage girl in the state of Minnesota. Now, this story just came out about a couple of hours ago. And basically, just like this previous term, they're going after R. Kelly. And now this is not a good sign for R. Kelly as it is, because he's already serving prison time for allegedly, having girls in New York. So having underage girls in New York. So now you have another incident that happened with R. Kelly with the incident in Minnesota. So info your thoughts.
Okay, let me just say this. We got James Glenn in the chat room. I put him on the screen. He said white people refuse to hold accountable for their wrongdoing. And let me just say this, James. That's what I'm trying to say. Black people in America, we are often saying that we need to hold ourselves accountable. When we get on the YouTube streams and we get on the panels, we often talk about we got to hold each other accountable, right? We say it all the time. Black women got to be held accountable. Black men got to be held accountable, right? But we don't often speak about the accountability of white folks. Now, I know they run the country. They control the economics. So you can make the argument, well, they can do whatever they want to do. But wait a minute. If we're going to be held accountable, they have to be held accountable for the things that they're doing that is impacting the overall society. Because when black men, remember when George Bush ran for president, George Bush Sr., and he used the Willie Horton. Remember that? He used the image of the black man as the threat to get in office. Even Pete Wilson here in California, where I live at, he used that same narrative. They used that same narrative to pass the 3 strikes law in California. It was based on the fear of the criminality of the black male. Now, they have done laws about this. When Ronald Reagan was governor of California, and the Black Panther Party out of Oakland, beautiful Oakland, California, came up there to the state building with those rifles. Guess what? They didn't have any bullets in the chamber. They did it as a symbolic statement. And Reagan said, "Oh my God, we can't have this." And he changed the laws, which is why we have stiff gun laws in California. You can't have open carry. It was all about the Black Panther. It was about black people having arms. They don't want us having any arms of our own, even if those arms are legal. See, nobody wants to deal with those kind of issues, right? And then we know that Ronald Reagan, not too long ago, along with that fool Nixon, it's all on tapes now. Can't deny what I'm saying. That he was talking about African people, talking about, look at their feet. They ain't got no shoes on. Look at these Africans talking all greasy about black folks in the continent. Okay. And along with Nixon, I am not a crook. Nixon. See, so This isn't about Trump. All these presidents going all the way back, they all hover this racial stuff. Trump ain't the be all to end all of it. He just continuing the legacy of what they have done historically. And I will bet anybody in the chat room and anybody listening, I'll go up against anybody with the historical facts to back up what I'm saying. You can't dispute historical facts that reinforce what I'm talking about tonight. You can. I'm sorry. So let me go on. Let's go on about the R. Kelly thing, man. What are your thoughts about R. Kelly?
Well, Info, this is not good. I mean, R. Kelly is done, in my opinion. I felt that R. Kelly, I mean, everybody been waiting to get this guy for so long. When you have we have a documentary of surviving R. Kelly, and you have the Me Too movement behind this, and they really want to go after this man. They finally got him, in my opinion. Info, they finally got this guy because there's so much evidence against him. And all of a sudden now you got the situation that he was accused of trying to mess with an underage girl in New York. And now you got another situation earlier, just a few minutes, just hours ago, that he was messing with underage girl in Minnesota. So R. Kelly Info is done. Everybody knows he's done. And there are people who say, well, it's the Me Too movement. They're going after black men. That's also true. But with all the evidence against R. Kelly, Info, I don't know. This is not good for the R&B singer.
Well, what I found out, what we know today is that he's being charged. I mean, Minnesota says that they're going to convict him on molesting of a child, propositioning a child, prostitution. They're saying in 2001 in Minnesota, where he was in a hotel, I think he was performing out there in Minnesota, okay, that there was a young lady that he propositioned to give her $200 if she would take her clothes off and come back to his room so he could do the damn thing, right? Mm-hmm. So she felt uncomfortable. She later gave a testimony by phone to the prosecution out there, and they say in Minnesota they believe in believing in the victim, right? And so he's being hit with those charges. You got the situation in New York. You got the federal situation in Chicago. I'm telling you right now, R. Kelly is going to be in prison for the rest of his life, because when they hit him down, when they hit all those charges on him, okay, when they hit all those charges on him, Lions, then he is basically going to be finished in show business. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not here as an apologist for R. Kelly. R. Kelly is wrong for the things that he is engaged in. There's no doubt about it. He is completely wrong for engaging in these kind of behaviors. But this is the thing I want to say. You can see this as clear as day, that when black men engage in these kind of behaviors, black men are held to the Me Too standard. Okay. White men like Epstein, who's been probably doing this stuff for God knows how long, the Weinstein, they do this for a long time, and they almost seem like they get away with it. Or you notice you don't hear anything about Epstein right now, right? Things have kind of quiet down about him. But R. Kelly, he's going to be made an example of, and his interviews that he has given have not put him in good light, and it is a serious problem. The man is done for. I really think females out there who have been following R. Kelly, praising his music, loving his music, you got to be ashamed of yourself, because if this man's been doing this stuff with young girls, and you know damn well you wouldn't want your young child to be inundated with him like this, touched by him. No father would want a man like this around their child. I think it was Aaliyah's uncle who brought Aaliyah to R. Kelly way back in the day at age 15 or 14 when he was messing around with her. There's a rumor that he might have gotten her pregnant even. So I don't want to drag this on and on, Lions Den, but it is a problem. He will be made an example of, and we'll look back years from now and say, wow, you know, he made some good music. And I think the fact that his music was good, it kind of caused us to kind of hang in there with him. But he's finished. He's done. And this is another thing I must say that's a shame. A lot of you out there that follow these celebrities, these entertainers, these singers, and these actors, A lot of these people don't have the money that you think they have. When R. Kelly got in, when they first arrested him, he couldn't even pay his own bail. Where did all that money go from all them hit albums that he sung? I mean, stuff like I Believe I Can Fly and all that type of shit, right? Okay. Yeah, he gonna fly all right. He gonna be flying on ground in a goddamn prison cell now. So all this, he couldn't even pay his bail. And guess who paid his bail for him? It was females. Females did that. The same females. Why would you do that when the man is doing what he's been doing with young girls? So we can be our own worst enemy when we prop these kind of individuals up because they're entertaining. A lot of these entertainers, these rappers, they don't have as much money as you think. Such as with what's going on with Nipsey Hussle. I think Lauren is going to get $1 million. He has a child. There's some things going on economically. It looks like all his money is drying up because these entertainers don't have as much money as you think they have. Tupac, when he died, his mother found out that he didn't own his cars. He didn't own his houses. When Biggie Smalls died and his mama went looking for his money, she found out that he didn't own his own house, cars, or nothing. So this whole entertainment game is an illusion. And believe me, R. Kelly is not the only one that's been doing this stuff. There's probably a bunch of other celebrities and entertainers out there that's been doing it for a while, and they're getting away with it right now because they've got people to back their play. So let me move on to this. Brent, let me see. Cosby needs to be set free in jail at 80 over bullshit. Yeah, Bill Cosby, man. I tell you. Bill Cosby, he's in that jailhouse. Okay, let's see what Carl. Let's pull out of this and see what else you got on the docket for us, Lions. Then what else is on your mind, brother?
Well, I'm gonna bring up a story that we and people. Even though we're talking about the incidents between the two mass shooters, people forgot about the Eric Garner case. Now, the police officer, and for those of you who don't know, because I did a story on it too. I think, I did a story on it, and Lisa Cabrera also did a story on this. The police officer who was responsible of choking Eric Garner and now the NYPD is finally suspending him, and it took 5 years to do it. I just don't get it, Info. They waited 5 years to finally suspend this guy, Daniel Pantaleo, the police officer that was the one that choked Eric Garner. They waited 5 years to say, yeah, he's suspended. And, remember, the state of New York refused to charge this man. And remember, like, I think about a couple of weeks ago that the feds had decided that they're not going to charge him for federal civil rights charges against Daniel Pantaleo for the choking death of Eric Garner. So, but now the NYPD come together and say, well, we're going to go ahead and suspending him. But it's too little too late. The man is dead. The guy has been, this has been 5 years. And then, they should have been suspended this officer I think about a month after the death of Eric Garner. But yeah, they waited 5 years to say now he's suspended. I don't get it, Info.
Well, let me just say this right here. Carl's opinion left a message where he says that Epstein and his buddies have power and connections in high places. That's why Epstein, everything's quiet down for him. He's got the lawyers, he's got the power so that he can easily smooth himself out of this situation. So where you look at R. Kelly, who you think that he would have money, he's looking like crusty, musty, and dusty right now, and crying on television. And it's just a bad situation that's going on. Eric Garner, that police officer, belongs in jail and as well as fired and in jail. You can't get around the fact that in New York, that is an illegal chokehold. Now, this is a no-brainer. You would think it would be a no-brainer, okay, that if he's using a illegal chokehold, that it would be a no-brainer that the cop would lose his job, be fired, and somehow be charged with something, right?
Yeah.
But what's happening is that what's that police union? I think it's the police union in New York is powerful. Their union is powerful. They're backing this guy. All right. So you know there's going to be some political BS behind the scenes to get this guy out of the trouble that he's in, or that he should be in. Let me correct myself, because they're surely not doing anything about this guy's behavior. You know, what do you? I mean, there's a lot of things going on, Lions Den, in this society, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I just basically saying that it took about 5 years to finally saying that he's suspended. And again, I agree with you, Info. This man should have been in
Information
jail.
is power.
He should have been charged with murder. And obviously, the families of Eric Gardner, and the daughter of Eric Gardner lost her life for fighting for the civil rights, of fighting for basically the justice for the families of Eric Gardner. And obviously they waited 5 years for now saying that he's basically suspended. And guess what? Before it happened, Info, he received pensions from the NYPD. He receiving all these benefits from the NYPD, and so he receiving all of this. And then, but yet the feds has decided. The Justice Department decided not to even file charges against against Daniel Pantaleo. So,
oh wow.
So basically, he getting all these benefits from the NYPD, and obviously now you waited 5 years, and now say he's been suspended. And even if he was fired, Info, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Even if Daniel Pantaleo was fired right now, he's gonna go to another precinct. He's gonna do the exact same thing. So,
wow.
See, this is why I said people need to be very focused on cases like this, because this officer, Daniel Pantaleo, got away twice by the state of New York and by the feds. And now, basically, if he does get suspended, as they said they're going to do, or if he gets fired, then Daniel Pantaleo he'll get a job. He'll get another at a different police precinct. That's how police officers are. So at the end of the day, you got to remember that a man that died, Eric Gardner, he keeps saying I can't breathe, but yet the illegal chokehold that the state of New York has been banned for decades, and now all of a sudden you're gonna say that Dan Pantaleo is suspended after 5 years later? Come on, give me a break.
Let me read this, Lions Den. This is very important right here, brother. Let me break this down to you right now. It's very important. QT1 said this: judge recommended to fire him. They let the feds play out, so the statute of limitation could run out of state level charges. They have 30 days to decide whether to fire him, not information management. So she's basically saying, or not. So she's basically saying that they got these many days to fire him, but they're going to stall. They're going to do political posture in the whole 9 yard, and they're going to play this little game with us. Right? They're going to play a little game with us. Let me see what I'm reading some messages that were way down at the bottom that I never got a chance to look at. We got Dallas. All of Kelly's money went right back to the gatekeepers, the AKA plug that sets high at the top of their frozen Kelly bank account, but it's all social engineering. Yeah, everything that you're seeing in our society today is social engineering, even when it comes to alternative lifestyles and what you see on television. If you notice, Lions Den, and I want to be as crude as I want to be, how I don't want to get any kind of issue with YouTube here, but I'm going to say this. We see a lot of alternative lifestyles on television. When you're looking at movies and TV shows and Netflix and all of that. And I'm noticing that every time I look at something, there's the alternative lifestyle that's popped right in your face. Boom.
Yeah.
Open your mouth.
Yep.
Okay. And it's like, sometimes I'm saying to myself, why did they put that? Why did they have to make that character that way when it wasn't really necessary to the movie? It doesn't make sense sometimes. So we just got a lot of things, weird stuff happening in the world. And let me say peace to brother George Frazier out there. QT1's been putting out some good information. Earl Owens studio mansion is coming to house. Make sure, let me do this. Make sure, y'all, if you haven't already, subscribe to the program, go right ahead and subscribe to the channel. And you know, I got a second channel, and that's the podcast channel. I should have did this podcast on that channel, but make sure you check that out. And that is the Information Man podcast channel. Make sure you check that out. I would appreciate the support. So go over there to my second channel. It's called Information Man Speaks podcast channel. Check that out and support me on this channel as well. I'm going to keep bringing content like this. And with the new StreamYard that I'm using, I'm really going to be up in my game. I do have Zoom, by the way, folks. I'm going to play around with that too, but I'm really going to be trying to up the game here with this technology. I actually do have OBS in lab streams. I just haven't started playing around with that too. So I'm going to be multifaceted with what we are doing. But I want to put this up for one reminder for tonight before we end, to everybody, these Black folks that were killed in the Dayton, Ohio situation. And I'm going to certainly be honest and say, okay, what happened in El Paso, Texas was a damn shame. No matter what your feelings are about different race of people, what have you, it still was a damn shame. And this is the reason why any of us can walk into a Walmart, a movie theater, and we could be a victim of some fool out there just trying to live our everyday life. So remember these folks, because what happened to them was not right. At all.
Ooh.
So I just wanted to put that up to remind people. I know we've kind of jumped around tonight with different topics. And everybody, let me give a plug for my men over there, my brothers. I need to get my butt over there more often. They always send me a link to come on their show, but y'all need to go check out the Black Brain Trust. If y'all want a program that gets into science, jobs, blockchain, engineering, where things are going at in the future, technology, you got to check out the brothers at the Black Brain Trust. The Black Brain Trust. You got to check them out. They got a real thing going on over there. I'm a big supporter of them, and I'm very proud because this logo that you're seeing on the screen, they use that logo on their page. So I'm very proud of that. But I'm more proud of what those brothers are doing over there on their channel. So check out the Black Brain Trust if you get a chance. They definitely got some good stuff going on over there, and I really appreciate everybody who come in the chat room, who's supporting the program tonight. Let me give a shout out to brother Super Trez, who I saw come through tonight. Peace to him wherever he is, if he's still in the chat room or out there. I really appreciate him coming through tonight. One of the things that I was doing in the past that I've kind of gotten away from, but I'm going to get back to it with you, is the Black to Black series that I do. I've got to get back into that. And let me what was I doing there? What did I mess up? Oops. This is what I wanted to show here. Give me a moment, folks. Good folks. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't put it in there. But I want to get back to my Black to Black series that I was doing. I've kind of gotten away from that into other things, but I need to get back to that because I have a lot of stuff I want to do. Lions Den, there's an article, and I should save it for another stream. But in China, they are messing around with human genetics. They're taking human genetics and mixing it with monkeys. They're doing it in China. They actually have, they're messing around. You know, the movie Planet of the Apes and all that kind of stuff. The Chinese are messing around with human genomes and putting them into monkeys and trying to see if they can create a hybrid monkey, half human, half monkey. Can you believe that?
You know what? Nothing surprised me, Info, with what they're doing. And I think what they're trying to do is basically experiment things And I mean, the thing of it is that they for example, they're injecting stuff in mosquitoes. You know, all these diseases are injected in mosquitoes. So I'm not even surprised what the Chinese are doing, trying to inject stuff in monkeys, and so the thing of it is that nothing surprised me anymore.
Well, I'm gonna go deeper into that story when I read up on it more. I might either do it on my podcasting channel, or maybe I'll do it live here, or maybe I'll pre-record it. But either way, what they're doing is they're playing around. And see, this is the thing. While we as Black folks on YouTube are getting on here and we're talking about a lot of goofy stuff, there are a lot of things going on that they're experimenting with in terms of technology, genetics, things that they're putting in our food, GMOs, things that they're putting in our atmosphere. There's a lot of things that's happening that we need to be aware of and conscious of while we're spending all this time talking about things that are foolishness at most times, right? Not well, sometimes. You know, there's people. No, don't get me wrong. There's people out here on YouTube that are doing some great things, that are talking about some great things, and then there's some foolishness going on that's not leading our people to anything that's in our best interest. Okay, and so that's the reason why I did this. I've been going over on the Sunday Rumble, and check me out on Sunday Rumble when you can with O'Shea Duke Jackson. We get over there and we get a little messy. I get a little crazy over there at times. But sometimes when I'm on those panels, it's extremely frustrating to hear people say things that I know are not true. That's not based in any facts, right?
Yeah.
And then so you know, it's just sometimes it's crazy. But I wanted to set that record straight tonight about the mass shooting. You know, it's a problem. Do Black people need to clean up our issues too? Yes, we do. And we're often told we need to do. Everybody talks about it. They have programs about it, right? And when I was on the O'Shea Duke Jackson show, everybody kept saying, well, info, they do profile white men that do this, right? They always say that white males are the face of this. Yes, but do white males get stopped on the street by the police when they fit that profile? Do they get questioned? Do they get kicked out of school like the young man who got kicked out for playing dodgeball and he was charged?
Yeah.
This kid, Colin Cohen Butts or whatever his name, did he get charged? Did he get taken to the police department when he was running amok down there in the high school before he did this shooting? Did he? No, he did not, folks. So it's a shame. It is what it is, but it is a damn shame. But you know, it's America, man. You know how America. Let me put that flag up. It's America, baby. America. Okay, this is America. I'm sorry, y'all don't want to. I'm sorry, but this is America. Is apple pie. Americans love their guns. They're not going to give up their guns, and we know that. And what comes with guns does come to this kind of destruction. Now, I know people are going to say, well, info man, guns don't kill people. People kill people. That's old dragged out line that people always say. We know that people kill people, right? But guess what? It still doesn't change the fact that people are getting their hands on guns. The mentally ill are getting their hands on guns. Now, check this out. This is the like when this happened, Donald Trump said that he blamed it on mental illness. He said it before when we had the other shootings, right? But this is my question. Since he says he wants to make America great again, isn't that what he says all the time, Lions Den?
Yeah. All the time. But info, this is what really bothers me about this. It's like every single time that a white person doing mass shootings, the media always says, well, he's suffering from mental illness. He's suffering from psychiatric evaluation. And now even politicians believe in that as well. But the thing of it is that if we do stuff, I'm talking Black people do stuff, they don't care if we have mental illness. We're going straight to jail. They don't care if we have mental illness or not. But when the media try to tell tell the white man that did the exact same thing, that did a lot of mass shootings. Oh, well, see, you got to remember, he's been troubled when he was a child. His parents was really mistreating him when he was a child, and he was suffering from mental illness. He'd go in and out of a psychiatric ward. It's like every single time that a white man did some mass shootings, that's what all the mainstream media is focused on. He suffered from mental illness. So it ain't like, I mean, so you telling me that a black person don't suffer mental illness? Only
Well,
white person,
We
right?
will make
Okay.
America great again.
well, this is the thing. Donald Trump said that he wants to make America great again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you know that mental illness is the problem, then why don't he put money, federal money, into improving mental health programs? I work in mental health. I can tell you right now, in California, a lot of guys who should be in regular facilities, they get sent to jail or prison because the judge knows that they can get mental health treatment in the prison system more than they can in the county. That means that we need funding. So you can't just simply say it's a mental illness problem, but yet you don't propose to put any money towards it. Have you heard him say, I, as president of these United States, am going to come up with a bill. I'm going to make sure the Senate or the Congress, I'm going to put pressure on my Republican brethren to come up with a bill to deal with the mental illness problem. If we're going to say that we can't take guns away from people because they have the right to bear arms, and that we shouldn't have gun control, and we say that it's mental illness, then certainly the government should be involved in creating programs to help mental illness. You can say, well, as a lot of Republicans always say, people should pull themselves up from their bootstrap and be accountable for themselves. True, people should, but at the same time, you should help people, because we know right now that since mental illness is a sickness, and just like white people who are killing themselves on meth, right? They're killing themselves at an all-time high, big time. It's serious, and they call it a health problem. When black folks were on crack, or when black folks were engaging in drug use, they called us crackheads. Get out of here, Pookie. I don't want to buy no hamburgers today. Get away from me, Pookie. We would call black people on drugs criminals, Pookies, right?
Yeah.
He's nothing but a crackhead. White people get on drugs and we're told you got to be humanitarian. They have a medical problem. It's a clinical problem and they need treatment. You see how there's a difference in double standard? And see, so can't nobody, I see this, man. Nobody can tell me different,
Yeah.
So, what you think? You got anything else on your mind, Lionsman, before we conclude tonight's program?
Well, I would like to thank you, Info, for inviting me, because we haven't done this in a long time, and I'm glad we're back together. Hopefully, we do more again soon.
Well,
and so
we could do it. Hey, brother, we could do it as much as you like. You just gotta stay in contact with me, brother.
I got you.
Check this out. You told me today when I asked you, everybody. I'm not trying to put them on the spot, but everybody today when I was talking to Liza, I said, Liza, I ain't heard from you. What's going on? And you told me, brother, well, I've been working on the railroad real hard. And then I see you. Look, I'm gonna bust you out right now. And then I see you on the Facebook, and you in Florida with your wife, chilling with your head on, looking at the ocean on the beach, and you talking about you working hard, all right, brother. You vacationing.
Gotta love Miami.
Hard, all right.
Gotta love Miami.
You in Miami chilling, talking about you working hard. You working hard, all right.
Oh boy.
But nah, brother, we gotta, that reason why I reach out to you, brother, because we've been doing this a long time, since our US Talk radio days with Lee Michaels. We got to get Lee Michaels on. He's a legendary radio producer, everybody out there. And we got to get India on if she's out there listening. But we got to do this some more, brother, because there's a lot of things that we can collaborate on and delve into. Let me give some respect to folks in the chat room as we wind on down. tonight, man. But how you like the new style of the show, man?
Oh, I love it. On the new platform, it's off the chain, and I can't believe I might end up doing that on my video someday.
Yeah, I
Man.
think you should use it as well. And next time we do this, I'll try to make an avatar with me and you on it in the background and what have you. But let me go in here and give some love to folks that are writing messages in there. Sorry, folks, we got into a little tangent there, but okay. Queen, I know I am says I wouldn't eat Chinese food with a dog. Oh my God, we got Anita B. Lovely Nita B. It's in there, the DNA. Oh, we got our discourse. God, our discourse. Where you been, man?
Discourse.
When I get down to LA, man, me and you gotta hook up when I get down to Southern California. I gotta kick it with you for a weekend. That's what I want to do, our discourse. If you're willing to host a brother, I'm gonna fly down to LA, pack my bags, and me and you gonna kick it together. Maybe we'll run into we're gonna kick it together. Me and him gonna do the damn thing in LA. So we got our discourse in the house. Yeah, Lions Den, he says. Then we got Sonia C. She says, yeah, I saw that program, Life After People. It's sophisticated, fascinating. I'm not reading stuff right. I'm tired. That's why. Let's see. 6 away. What's going on, sister? Family? Your family? Then we got old reliable here. I've been stopped eating Chinese food. I can't trust it. Yeah, I'm telling you, folks. Good night to you too, Queen. I know I am. I thank you for being here. And peace to everybody out there. And the elder, if he's watching too tonight. But check this out. I'm really watching my diet lines. I'm gonna be doing a live stream about men's health, things that we need to be putting into our diet a lot more. You need to get more things in your diet to help your gut. A lot of your health problems can be linked to your gut. There's certain bacteria that you need in your gut. You should be eating certain things to build up certain positive bacteria in your stomach to fight off certain sicknesses. I'm going to be getting into a lot of that type of talk very soon. Let me go to the next person. Poetic Kels says, you're definitely a great show. Thank you, Poetic Kels. And let's go over to the next message here. So, okay, I just want to read messages where people were saying some things. Let me see. Boom. George Frazier, I eat meatless meat. You have to season it right. It tastes just like burgers, chicken, fish. Woo, that's good stuff there, brother.
Yeah, great stuff.
And then we got J-Man, who's been hanging in there with us. I think J-Man is a big follower over in Carl's Opinion. And Carl Opinion, peace to you for giving me a lot of super chat tonight. I appreciate that. That soy sauce makes my ankles swell. Whoa, that's funny.
Whoa.
Oh, we got Carl's Opinion. Information Man show. These are great shows. Thank you. Carl, thank you, man. You know I come over. Look. Carl is a conservative. You see him on O'Shea's channel a lot, and he supports O'Shea big time. Carl's a conservative. He's a conservative. He follows Donald Trump. But I'm going to tell you, I go over his channel, even if I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that are said sometimes, I go over and give him support. He's a good guy. He super chats me. He's cool. He's got his thing going on his channel. And I don't go in there with no criticism because I know, hey, if I don't agree with something, I don't agree with something. But Carl's cool. He supports the black sector of YouTube. And so shout out to Carl again for coming over. But Carl, I'm telling you, you got to hold those white guys accountable when they're doing this kind of stuff. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got QT1. I sure like that style of hair she's wearing, that natural look the sister's wearing. Very neo soul. I love it. But she says the gun show purchases are the issue in the so-called mental illness narratives because it's all about money. You're right. Let me give you a clap.
Information is power. Okay,
Sonia C says it's on Netflix. Okay, she's talking about a movie. Let me try to get some folks that I have. Oh, we got my man Cool Gent 87. I apologize. I didn't shout you out early before. I didn't see you, brother. Doing the show. I appreciate you. I should have sent you a link and brought you on the show tonight, but we'll do some things together, brother. Cool Gent, I love you. I love what you're about. Make sure y'all check out his channel. Let's give that brother support. I probably what I'll do, brother Kugent, I'll bring you on the channel and maybe interview you about a variety of topics that are on your mind. Maybe we'll do a collaboration like that. George Frazier's back in too much soy. Y'all don't mess with Chinese food anymore. It's just too problematic. Sometimes you don't even know what you're really eating. I like this platform. Yeah, it's thank you. Thank you for liking my platform, and thank you for liking the streaming system that we're using. It just makes it so fun, so easy. Oh, we got the real Brooklyn in the house. What's up, everybody? What's up to you, real Brooklyn? Sorry for not shouting you out earlier, brother. I'm just being busy with what we're doing up here. We got you and Lions Den rock the reunion. The reunion. Yeah, the reason why you haven't seen me and Lions Den on here before, because we had a falling out and all that kind of stuff. And we got into a few things, and we were like a great band. You know how bands get back together. And so we said, man, we're gonna put our differences to the side and come back together. I'm playing with y'all, man. He's a married man now. He doesn't always have the time because he's too busy in Miami, Florida, playing in the sand and stuff with his wife, stuff like that. Thanks for having me, guys. Hey, thank you, brother, the real Brooklyn. And hey, for some of you guys that are in the chat room, let me just tell you right now, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. For some of you that are in the chat room, I would definitely love to get some of you guys on the panel, people that's been following me that are in the chat room, and hear what you got to say about different subjects. I definitely would like to see you on the panel to give your opinions about different things, folks, from time to time. I think it'd be great to have people on up here like a George Frazier, Anita, a great live stream. She says, info, thank you. I love that kiss. Don't she look good on that picture? That's the thing about this new system, man. You can see what people really look like. She looking kind of good on there. Woo, boy. Let me like Red Fox. I gotta slick my hair back and lay it down to the side and get my zoot suit on, man. Hey, we can't laugh and have fun, folks. And what the hell are we? We talk about a lot of serious stuff, but we should be able to laugh at some stuff too. You know what I mean? Let me see, because we're always talking about serious stuff, but it is the reality. Okay, Reliable Queen, you come back soon for it. Okay, and let me get down to some more. QT1 has been on money tonight. I make my own stir fry and have been meatless for the last 3 months as an experiment, and I fast twice a year. It really makes a difference. Stop that processed mess. Okay, let me give y'all a secret. I was going to wait until I do my health show, but damn it, let me just tell y'all right now what y'all should do. If you want to lose belly fat, because there's impurities that get into your stomach that give you belly fat, get you some purified water, good water, clear, good water, not tap water, at room temperature every morning. Buy yourself some lemons, get yourself some honey, get yourself some ground cinnamon powder, or just get cinnamon powder or ground powder. Get yourself some apple cider vinegar, but it has to be organic apple cider vinegar. Okay? Organic apple cider vinegar. I take this stuff every day. And then what else? And then you want to mix all that. You take a teaspoon of the apple cider vinegar, because too much vinegar destroys the natural organs in your stomach that help you. So only a teaspoon of that. You put it in the drink. You put a small teaspoon of cinnamon. You don't want to OD on cinnamon. It's good. It will actually burn fat. Put that in there. Squeeze your lemon. Put the lemon juice in there. A teaspoon of that, right? And then a teaspoon of the honey. You shake it up. Get you one of those drink containers where you have something to shake to break it up in, like those workout drink cups. You shake that up and you drink. It's not nasty. You drink it early in the morning every day, or you can drink it in the afternoon, but the morning. And if you drink it over a period of 2 weeks or more, you will begin to see a difference in your stomach. But of course, you're going to have to still exercise and still eat the right things, or you're going to self-defeat the process. So that's a little elixir that actually will help you burn belly fat, because you know what it is? It's basically flushing out the impurities in your body. So it's almost like cleaning your system out, right? And part of the belly fat that we develop as men or even ladies comes from impurities and things in our body from the poor diets that we sometimes eat. So this is very important. What do you think about what I just said, Lions Den?
I agree with you, Info. I think it's very important for people to really take care of themselves, especially this generation, because obviously you have we have stomach issues, we have like GERD, acid reflux. This is very serious diseases that you have to deal with. So exercise is the key. Drink plenty of water, and sometimes walking is pretty good if you're walking a lot. So definitely take care of yourself, and I guarantee you, once you get all of the food together, you'll be all right.
All right. What I'm gonna do, folks, is I guess I'm having a lot of fun tonight. I hate to do this, but I think I might have to end the show because let's see what time it is where I'm at. I'm in the West Coast. So let me see right now. So it's about 10:30 for me. I'm gonna get ready to saddle it up for the bedtime. I think I might have to end it. I know it's late for a lot of people around the country. I want to thank everybody for being here. Carl, are you going live tonight? Carl, I might just check out what you're doing over there tonight for a moment while I'm getting ready for bed. Let me put some more folks' stuff in the chat that I might have missed. So what I'm going to do, folks, while I end the show, I'm going to play a little music for you, and I'm going to finish going down the chat room to give respect to everybody that left a message as the show ends with the music. Lions Den, there will be some more improvements to this system. Right now, I can see the chat room. I'm working right off of the studio system that I'm in right now. I don't even have to look at another screen. I can see everything, but eventually they're going to improve this where you as the guest can actually see the chat room right in the studio that we're in right now on this system. So it's a fantastic system. So folks, Lions Den, I'm going to end it with some music and for the rest of the night. Lions Den, you got any last words you want to say to folks?
Oh yes, you guys can check out my my YouTube as well. Check out.
Yeah, say it, brother.
Yeah, check out my YouTube channel. Is Lions Den #ADOS. I'll be kicking it with all the news and commentary every now and then, especially something important. So everybody follow me on Instagram at _real_Lions_Den2, and follow me on Twitter at the Real Lions Den. Follow me on Snapchat at Lions Den 39, and basically follow me on YouTube again at Lions Den #ADOS.
All right. I want to say to everybody out there, thank you for being with us tonight. I appreciate everybody out there that showed up, who's giving us a lot of respect and kudos. I know when I talk, I get real hyped up. That's kind of how I am, folks. So I hope it doesn't turn anybody off. I just got hyped up about this issue tonight because I had a lot of stuff boiling inside of me after listening to Jason Black and the fine things that he does over there on his channel. And it got me pumped up to do something like this. And because I think we just need to, this is the truth. And I said it on O'Shea's channel, this issue that's going on is not a black people problem. We're not going out doing these mass shootings now. We got to deal with our other issues, but it's just that's just the facts. And everybody out there, let me play this. On my other channel, I usually would play this sound bite, but you can hear me on these other platforms.
The Information Man podcast can be heard on 9 major platforms. On the second YouTube channel as well, Information Man Speaks Podcast. Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Castbox, SoundCloud, and finally,
Tell
Spreaker.
the truth.
Okay, so those are some of the platforms you can hear the program on. Let me get back in here, pick some more stuff that people were saying. So Lions Den, we're going to end the program. I'm going to play a little bit of music and go all the way down this this chat room and click on everybody's names that have made statements that I did not catch up with. Lions Den, thank you for being here, brother. It's been great tonight. Once again, we got to do it again. Brother, all you got to do, brother, if there's topics that you want to talk about, man, just keep it. I know you're busy, you're married, but all you got to do is send me a text, whatever, brother. And
I got you.
We'll put something together. I mean, weekends, are the best time for us to do this together. So
Yeah, yeah.
If you're not busy with the wife and things of that nature, man, it doesn't hurt. I mean, because I want to hear what you have to say, and we got to do this, man. We got to do this and get this going. Okay. So I really appreciate you being here, brother.
I appreciate you inviting me. And like I said, anything you need info, I got you. I'm always gonna be here. You know that.
All right, all right. Peace, brother. Take care.
All right.
Thank
Holla.
you. Holler.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank y'all for listening to the Information Man show tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed the program, and I hope that we all learned something together.
Information is power.
Peace to Brother Marcus Love. Poetic Celts. Queen, I Know I Am. Sonia Sees. Soul Food is good, Queen. Yes, it is. Coogent 87. Anita B. QT1. Carl's Opinion. Marcus Love, peace to you, brother. Queen, I Know I Am. My man, Earl Owens, thank you for your support. Miss Mohawk. Mr. Mohawk, appreciate you being here. Soul Illusionist. Marcus Love, thank you for the super chat, brother. I missed that. Mr. Mohawk, peace to you. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Peace to you. Peace, Adventures. Adventures, how you doing? Glad to see you here. Sorry that you missed the beginning of the show. You can watch it on the repeat. It's good to see you here. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. It's been a great night.
Information is power.
Peace to everybody. And thank you for your support. Good night.